There's a few different branches of dressage routines, such as club competition routines or recreational / just for fun routines. Along with that, then there's also different groups of dressage routines you can perform, such as groups of 4+ people. If you don't have 4 people, you can even do a duet with just 2 people, and some competitions even offer solos with just 1 person. Now, with all that in mind, for this video we will be focusing on tips for making routines with a group in a competition routine style. When competing a dressage routine, there's set requirements that you must abide by for your routine. These requirements are not set in stone, meaning it differs from competition to competition, but I'll be showing you the average requirements, although you always want to double check the exact requirements you need, as these could not be the same ones. Typically, dressage routines call for being between 6 and 8.5 minutes long. Typically, the requirement for riders is 4 or more, but I recommend doing 8 as it's not too little, but it's not too much, it's just right. Most competitions are done in the riding hall, which is near Civic League Manor, so when making a routine, it's usually best to practice and make your routine in the riding arena. Now, with all of that being said, let's start your routine. Okay, let's begin with your starting position. You have a few options. You can either start in the middle of the riding arena, or you can start more commonly in the outside of the arena. Although if you're starting in the middle of the arena, make sure you check with the host of the competition to make sure they allow that. You can start in whatever starting position you'd like. Here are some simple starting positions to give you some ideas. First off, we have a simple side-by-side halt with 1 horse gaps between each rider. While this is rather simple, you have a lot of possibilities to do something unique out of this. And then we have domino. This is again rather simple, but it's a pretty move, and if you did this in multiple lines, it would look really cool. I'm sure you could do something and figure out to make this look really unique. There's also many other flat moves such as flock, arrow, circle pivoted in, etc. Be as creative as you want and start wherever you like. Now that you have your starting position, let's go to the next step. When making a dressage routine, the first thing I think to myself is, how can I make this as creative and unique as possible? You want to really wow the judges and let them see something they've never seen before. The best way to do this is to stay away from the more basic beginner moves and lean towards making your very own moves or matching a bunch of moves together to make it unique. The very beginning move we did in our routine is the original move we created, and we named it Swerve. Let me walk you through the process of how we created that move. Something I found very useful over the years of creating my own moves is to draw them out. Alright, so again for this move we had 8 riders, so I'm going to draw at the top. Now when we draw out moves, I first start with the starting position of the move. And in this case we are in a flock with 2 leaders, so picture each tally mark represents a horse in this situation. So I'm going to draw out each horse and where they would be. So now each horse in line is an even or uneven number in the line. So we are going to label all the unevens as 1s and all the evens as 2, just so we don't get mixed up. So this is where you have to start being creative. It's easiest to do this if you know where you want to end up after the move. So for me, I want to be in a rein. There is also simple ways to get into a rein from a flock, but I want it to be more complicated than that. So I decided to have the 1s start trotting on the first go so we could get slightly ahead of the 2s. Then I thought about having them belt to their left, so then I drew that all out and what it would look like. So then we have to think about the 2s, so I want them to start trotting slightly after the 1s, so they would start trotting on my second go, and they would repeat what the 1s did, so trot out, then belt left. But they would do it slightly delayed after the 1s did, which in my head, I thought it should result in everyone being in one line on each side. So with all of that, here's how the move ended up looking. Alright, so there's the first move of our routine completed. And after that, the whole process just repeats itself over and over until you have enough length on your routine to end it and finish it. One last time, the process repeats, so I want to have our line trotting the opposite way at the end of this move, and we are currently in a rein, so I'll draw out all the lines as horses and put everyone in a rein, and then I'll draw out the 1s and the 2s just like we did before. For this move, it'll be a little simpler as I just want the line to turn around. It doesn't have to be a big crazy move for that. So I'll have everybody do what we call a ribbit, which is a type of curl in a wave. And then at the end, they'll just turn into one line. Personally, I find it really fascinating to see something you drew out and thought about in your head coming to life in the game. Now it's up to you to be creative and continue the step of creating your own moves over and over until you have a whole routine. Now the hardest part is teaching the moves to your club and having them remember all the old moves while you're also trying to add new moves. However, there is a system to make it much easier. If you use Discord, I'd consider making a channel in your server for all the moves in your routine explained in video form. This is something we started doing more recently in our club, and it has improved the speed we can finish our routines tremendously. As if a member in our comp team wasn't at a practice and missed learning a move, they can always come back to this chat to rewatch the videos. All it takes is a short 2 to 3 minute video for each move explaining how it works, and it helps so much.